G'day there, Ray Corcoran here. In this week's video, we're going to be going over 8 principles that I use to get my net worth over 7 figures in my early 30s. Hopefully you'll be able to leverage these things and just kind of go through this like a bit of a checklist to see like what am I doing, what am I not doing, and you can implement these things and hopefully get yourself to your own goals much faster. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. It actually helps it get shown to more people. And yeah, if you want to subscribe. If you don't, then you don't. So the first tip is automate your investing, or pay yourself first. So this is a pretty classic concept, but it's something that's very important. A lot of people, when they get their paycheck or they get their money from their business each week or month or whatever, they'll spend whatever they want to spend, and then they'll take whatever's left over and then invest that, if at all. And that's basically backwards. We want to flip that around and make sure that whenever a paycheck comes in, we handle our business first, then we can do whatever we want with the rest. You can actually automate this. So if you have a normal paycheck where it's the same amount every fortnight, or a consistent amount, you can set up automatic transfers so that a set amount gets moved from your main account to your saving or investing account every single week or month. So anywhere that you can remove human decision making is super important. So anytime you have a system, you'll get a consistent result, and it doesn't involve human emotion, because ultimately willpower can fluctuate up and down all the time. Number 2 is investing in your own skill set. So I talked about this a few times on the channel, and it's something that I really believe in terms of increasing your income, because you need to think about it from the employer's perspective or from your customer's perspective. If you're crap, why would we pay you any more? If you don't have any skills, especially commercially valuable skills, then what reason? We need to have a reason to pay you lots of money. Of course, you've got some Kardashians or whatever, they get paid lots of money for who knows what, but they're the exception, not the rule. The people that get paid the most in our society are the people that are the most visible, the people that are most talented, ideally a combination of those things, and they're good at stuff that is important. They're not just good at some random basket weaving that nobody cares about. They're really good at maybe getting customers for a business. That's literally why I chose marketing as a profession, because I was told when I was early 20s or whatever, I was told to get close to the money. So the closer you can get to the money, the closer you can get to making other people money. There's a very high chance that you can get paid a lot if you can do that for other people. So think about, when was the last time you learnt a new skill that would make you valuable to your employer? Could you get better at communication? Could you get better at leadership? Could you get better at maybe technical skills within your industry? Whatever it is, have a look at who gets paid a lot in your industry, or maybe your target industry, and have a think about what kind of skills do they have and what am I missing, and do a bit of a skills audit, and then make a little mini plan to be like, all right, I need to get much better at this. I need to get much better at that. Number 3 is tracking your net worth at a minimum of monthly, if not weekly. You don't really have to track it weekly, to be honest, but I like to track it. I actually update my net worth spreadsheet multiple times per week. And I've done a video recently on how I do that. And I actually created a non-fancy, ugly spreadsheet it's pretty much a recreation of my spreadsheet that I use. And I've used that since 2015. And I kind of just plug in my numbers every single week or month to update, my progress. And I really believe that just by the fact that you're tracking this will make you get better results, because when you're confronted with the numbers about how well you're doing or how bad you're doing, you can't help but do things about it. It's like someone that check this, if they're overweight, they check the scales every day. Eventually they just naturally, I feel, get drawn to doing things to improve the number. And I think that's the same for money as well. And it also creates a positive association. When you do good things, the number gets better. When you do bad things like spending money or having a blowout on some sort of big night or whatever you've done, the number goes down. So you start to create a association so that your actions really reflect your results, which was already happening, but at least now you can actually see it. Number 4 is a simple one, but allocating as much money as possible to things that go up in value and not down in value. So have a look at how much money you're spending every week or every month, and have a think about how much money is really going to things that go up in value and how much money is just getting pissed away on. It could be clothes, it could be car stuff. Have a think about what kind of stuff, where is all your money going? For every $1,000 that you make, how much of that goes to things that don't make money? And it can be quite a sobering calculation to do, but have a think about it, because if you're not allocating money to things that go up, then that compound effect is not really going to happen as fast. Conversely, if you get whatever money that comes in, you pay your compulsory expenses, and then you take everything else and dump it into investments that go up in varying degrees, that compound impact will take over. The compound effect will take over. Start small and keep working your way up until it's getting to a point where you're really dumping quite a lot of money every single month, and that's when things will really start to take off. Number 5 is delayed gratification. So get used to delaying any kind of fun stuff, basically. And I don't want to be the person that is a killjoy and kills all the fun, but realistically, all the good fun stuff usually costs money. Most of the time anyways. We want to delay that stuff as much as possible. So, flexing on a handbag or flexing on a certain car or upgrading this, upgrading that, getting a new home theater system, whatever it is, the more you can delay these purchases, the better. Because realistically, these things just depreciate in value, and we really want to make sure that we're delaying that sort of stuff until later. Because a lot of people, try and flex too early and try and, live the fancy lifestyle because they're maybe sick of having a small amount of money and they just want to treat themselves. But I would really suggest that if you do get that urge to treat yourself, have the opposite desire, because the fact that if you haven't got much money coming in and you still want to treat yourself, that's keeping you on that low level of income forever, because you're taking your money, it's not going to the right spots, and it means that you're always going to keep yourself poor forever. And we obviously don't want that. And we need to make sure that any kind of fancy stuff that you want, there's plenty of time. All those fancy products are going to still be at the shop and the dealership and all that sort of stuff. They're always going to be sitting there waiting for you. But if you try and get to that level too early, or try and keep up with the Joneses or anything like that, you're just pushing that goal further and further into the future, and you'll just never get there. So bite your tongue for a bit, lay low, avoid these things for as long as possible, and then eventually you'll be able to buy these things whenever you want, as much as you want, and live a fantastic life. And number 6 is running your own race. So I really find that with personal finance, you almost need to keep yourself in a bit of a bubble, because you're going to have family that have opinions, friends that have opinions, even with good intentions, but there's going to be all these people kind of projecting what they think you should do with your money onto you. And sometimes it'll be great advice, sometimes it might be terrible advice. But I've just found that I just need to insulate myself from everybody's opinion and whatever I see online sometimes. And I just need to focus on the important numbers, which are how much did I bring in this month, how much was going out the door, and how much has been invested. And also what kind of percentages are we getting on those investments. They're the main numbers that you need to care about. And if you just focus on making those numbers as good as possible, then it'll all work out and you'll do very, very well. And everybody's opinion is doesn't really matter in the scheme of things. And a lot of people as well try to pull you towards their lifestyle or how they spend their money. And how they spend their money is fine. I don't care how other people spend their money. One thing you got to understand is you're going to have a certain set of goals. And if you have a set of goals that you want to be a little bit richer than that, or you want to have a bit more cash flow or more freedom than that, you can't use the game plan that they're using, because they don't want those things, or they're not really as interested as you. But if they have a different game plan, then you need to focus on different actions and different inputs so you can get different outputs to those people. Number 7 is getting paid on results and outcomes instead of time. Trading time for money is where a lot of people start in their job or career or whatever. However, it is very, very limited, unfortunately, and you'll only ever get paid typically for how many hours that you do. When I was in corporate, I have a business now, but when I was in corporate, I could do as many hours I wanted, but in that particular role, I was not going to get overtime. If I do my 40 hours, I get paid the same. If I do 60 hours that week, 70 hours that week, I'm still getting paid for 40. And in a lot of companies, you get this faint promise of if you do a little bit more than you need to, you'll get a promotion. And I think it's still good to go above and beyond regardless of whether you do get a promotion or not. But a lot of times you don't get the promotion. So you can be, you're still trading time for money. And, not everybody is maybe suited to stuff like marketing and sales where you can get paid on outcomes and not hours. But you need to think about, how can you get paid for delivering results instead of getting paid, on an hourly basis? Because, once you chew up your whole week, what are you going to do? You can increase your rates potentially, but then again, you're going to hit a wall because your time's still chewed up. So you got to have to think about how can you get paid, in your industry, or maybe even starting a side business. Could you create a digital product, for example, that you create it once and then you keep selling over and over and over? You can sell your knowledge about a certain topic. There's a whole bunch of different options available to you, but that will allow you to get off the hamster wheel and start getting leverage. And leverage is one of the most important things in terms of building wealth. So that's how you can start getting paid what I would call ridiculous money, because now it's actually been how much money you make is now being disconnected from how many hours you put in. You still have to put in time, but if you sell 1 unit or 1,000 units, it doesn't matter. It's almost the same amount of time, maybe some extra customer support here and there, but that's how you get leverage and that's how you can make abnormal amounts of money. So I hope you found that useful. If you have any thoughts and comments, let me know below. And other than that, I'll see you in the next video.